Time now for our occasional feature, and all the more precious for it, exploring how the rich and famous get away from it all. This week, the American singer-songwriter Tori Amos burns some rubber and heads down the highway. This is her secret life.
Ever since I was a kid, I was taking road trips. My parents always loved taking the autumn trips. There's something so magical when the wood is burning in the fireplaces and the trees are starting to create that incredible color. Maybe mid to end of October. It always usually starts changing far north in the mountains on the eastern seaboard. But you can follow the trail. You can follow the trail for 3 weeks. It's really quite something. One of my favorite trips was going to Yellowstone, and we ran into the elk rut, where the elk have their bugle call as they're flirting with the cow. And people gather in Yellowstone to just listen to this incredible music that they're making. It's fantastic.
Has road tripping inspired a lot of your own music?
Well, there was a song called A Sort of Fairy Tale that came out of an experience where I went up the Northern California route, starting from LA, and I wrote the song that came from that experience. It was just one of those moments I'll never forget. The song wasn't written then. It was written many, 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 many years later, but that's what inspired A Sort of Fairy Tale. There is a nostalgic aura that happens on a road trip.
On my way up north, up on the Venture, I pulled back the hood and I was talking to you.
I have always had a truck. For me, there's nothing sexier than coming out of a truck, putting your heel down, and you've got a Jimmy Choo on.
So even when you're on a road trip, you're still quite glamorous?
It's shoe wear. I really downplay it, other than the shoe. The idea is that no one would know who I am. I've always done that intentionally so that I can escape. So when we're taking these trips, it's one of those things whereby you're sitting amongst people and just sharing stories. And I love that.
A sort of fairy tale with you. A sort of fairy tale with you. A sort of fairy tale with you.
Do you think America is the home of the road trip?
Well, I do, just because there's so many different ones you can take. One of my favorite ones is the Southwest. You can go through the Grand Canyon and make your way through New Mexico. The desert is one of my favorite places, so I could just spend months and months in the desert. And if you can go on up to Taos, New Mexico, and you just sit out in your truck over the Rio Grande on the mesa. I did quite a bit of hiking in the mountains.
I can't imagine you hiking for some reason.
Really?
Well, the shoes.
Yeah,
it's the shoes.
There's hiking boots, JP. I mean, come on. The thing is, I am an outdoors kind of girl. I miss the bird song. I miss being in nature. So that's one thing about the road trip. You really get out there. Everybody talks about the Southwest or the Northwest because those are the long, long drives, and you're away from cities for a long amount of time. You can drive and drive and drive and drive and drive and drive and drive for hours. That's why the road trips I do are pretty well planned, because there's a side to me that's always waiting for the other shoe to drop. You're
obsessed with shoes.
No, but
How many shoes have you got?
Oh, I can't. I've never counted, and I don't think I should.
Deep in a sort of fairy tale with you. A sort of fairy tale with you. A sort of fairy tale with you.
So for anyone who hasn't enjoyed a road trip like you have, what are we missing out on?
My goodness, it's the adventure, isn't it? It's not really knowing what you're going to see that day. You know, the thing is, there's so much magic happening, but we don't allow ourselves to partake in it, to be present in it. Sometimes our lives are so unbelievably planned. And yes, when you take a road trip, you might know where you're going to sleep that night. But in between waking and getting there and going off the beaten path and possibly being open to these discoveries, that's what I love about it. That's where the magic is in life. You're allowing life, it's a tango, isn't it? You're allowing life to tango with you.
Can you change a flat tire?
No, but I can wear.
I'm not going on a road trip with you.
But I can wear a high heel and wave on the side of the road and sing a song for the person that helps me out.
That's the way to get a tyre change. Tori Amos on her secret life and her new musical, The Light Princess, opened earlier this week at the National Theatre in London.